We are getting very close to taper. Everything is coming together. Cheers, y'all. How's it going? What an incredible week of training this past week was. I'll get into all the numbers and specifics and all that good stuff, but we are less than 3 weeks away from the Mohican 100 miler, my first ever attempt at a 100-mile race. I am definitely starting to get more and more excited. That confidence is starting to build just as training is going so well. Again, I'll get into the specifics of this week in a little bit, but just seeing all of the training coming together, feeling very strong. Again, definitely still nervous, this being so far outside of my comfort zone, outside of the realm of anything close or remotely close to something I've done in the past, but definitely getting more excited as that training is starting to come together and as those kind of final details and plans are also starting to come together of the weekend as a whole. So all that being said, let's talk about the training. But before I give you the specifics on this week's run, I want you to guess at a couple numbers and put it down in the comments below. I will tell you right off the bat that this was my highest mileage week for the year, excluding the 4-state challenge, because obviously there was a 43-mile run at the end of that week that skews the data a little bit. But in terms of just my training weeks, this was my highest mileage week so far, which also made May my highest mileage month so far of 2021. January, I was doing pretty well, ended up getting a little bit of an overuse injury at the end of January, so it's been just a slow, gradual climb back up since then, but it feels like I'm back. I feel like it's safe to say I'm basically back. So what do you think my total running miles were for this week, as well as my total running miles for the month of May? All right, so that being said, let's jump into the week of training. Per usual, Monday was a rest day, so no running on Monday, no miles, just nice rest, relaxation, a lot of rehab work. I've been doing a ton of just stretching and foam rolling, especially on off days, just making sure that I don't have any kind of inkling of any stiffness or anything like that starting to creep back up in my IT band, especially as my mileage is starting to climb higher and higher than it's been so far. Just want to make sure I'm doing all of that rehab work, really focusing on recovery so we don't have any flare-ups before the race. Transitioning into Tuesday, it was a steady state run, so nothing too crazy. It was 3 intervals at 18 minutes at a steady state pace with 3-minute rest in between each. Again, I always do like a mile warm-up before any of these runs, so mile warm-up and then 3 times 18 minutes at a steady state pace and 3 minutes at a resting pace. So all in all for that run, 8.13 miles in an hour and 15 minutes, so a 9-minute and 17-second mile average for the total run for those 18-minute splits. The first one was 2.11 miles, the second 2.19, and the third 2.21. So a little bit faster each time, felt really, really comfortable, really strong during those intervals. Moving into Wednesday, Wednesday has become really my focused strength training day, and if you've been watching the last few training updates, you probably know the workout that I did this past Wednesday. If this is your first time watching the video, I hope you'll go ahead and subscribe and look forward to plenty more content like this coming out in the future. But Wednesday's strength training, it's a body weight routine, all single leg focused exercises. So it's 5 sets of the rotation on each leg. So it starts out with just a 30-second hold standing on one foot, but not just standing idly, having your core engaged, glutes engaged in like a runner's pose, almost lean forward a little bit. So just making sure again that you're not just standing idly on one leg, but you have a lot of those running muscles engaged while you're standing. That's sort of the warm up to get into the set. Then 15 backwards lunges using the front planted leg to control the entire movement, the whole way down, and then pushing yourself back up using that front leg as opposed to using the back leg to kind of spring off of. After that, we do 10 single leg good mornings and then finish it off with 10 single leg pistol squats. It is a brutal workout. If you think you can't get a good workout just using body weight, think again. And I would encourage you to give this a shot. I personally, especially for the pistol squats, will have like a stool next to me to lean on just to give myself a little bit of support, because especially by that 4th and 5th set, you are definitely feeling it in those legs. Then we move into Thursday, which was substantially longer of a run than I typically do during the week. But I mentioned in the previous training update that my coach wants me to start working in these early morning, longer effort runs during the week, again, just to help build up that running volume as much as possible before Mohican. So this run in particular was a tempo workout. It was 5 sets of 12 minutes on at tempo pace, 4 minutes off. So 12 minutes at tempo pace, 4 minutes rest, do that 5 times total. All in all, the run as a whole was an hour and 38 minutes. Average pace for everything was 8:54 per mile. Total mileage run was 11.01 miles. In terms of the actual splits on the run, I was remarkably consistent. It was 1.63 miles for the first, 1.66, 1.63, 1.64, 1.66. So again, super consistent. Love to see that, especially because the majority of these runs, when I do them, I'm running just kind of based on feel, how I'm feeling, how the pace feels, etc., that rate of perceived exertion. So love to see it when the splits are so consistent like that, because I feel like I'm really dialed in during those runs. But felt great. The average pace for those splits was between like a 7:15 to a 7:23 minute mile. So again, super consistent, not going crazy with the pace, but felt really good after that run. As always, Friday was another rest day. Again, focus on that recovery and also fueling up in preparation for the weekend's long runs, because I knew this weekend was going to be a little brutal. Saturday was 2 hours of hill repeats. So I did this workout a couple weeks ago. The weather was a lot worse this past weekend. If you want to see how hill repeats went, I actually posted a video of the full workout if you want to check that out. It was 40-ish degrees with the wind chill, gale force winds, pouring rain, coastal flood advisory, so not the greatest weather, but still got out there, did my warm up, did 2 hours just running up and down the hill. And the other thing I wanted to focus on during my weekend runs was taking in some real solid food during the runs just to see how it sat. So for the hill repeats, I just took some potato chips and some junk food along for the run, some of those snacks that I might rely on during Mohican. Everything sat remarkably well, so that was great to see. The run, like I said, was a little over 2 hours with the warm up. It was 2 hours, 17 minutes, and 14 seconds. Average pace was 11:19 per mile. So again, felt pretty good about that, given that I was just running up and down the hill, walking when I was taking in fuel, etc. Total mileage was 12.13 miles, and I got just over 1,400 feet of elevation gain during that run as well. So overall, great workout. Certainly took me some time to warm up afterwards and get the dexterity back in my fingers, but very happy that I was able to get out there for that effort. Then moving into Sunday, very similar weather. Luckily, the wind wasn't quite as bad, but it was still in the 40s on my run. It was still just pouring rain. I made some cheese quesadillas to take with me on this run. This was just a 2-hour endurance run. The goal was to keep my heart rate under 160 beats per minute. So very comfortable, controlled, calm pace, which especially felt good after really pushing myself on the hill repeats. It felt good to just kind of relax during this run. It was 2 hours, 23 seconds total, 9:26 per mile average. And I was eating kind of a slice of the cheese quesadilla I think it was about every 30 minutes I was taking it in. Again, I wanted to see A, how much I could eat, but then B, just kind of survey how my stomach was feeling after each slice and as I was adding more and more throughout the run. But again, sat remarkably well, felt really good, so I think that's going to be a great option during Mohican. Total distance for that run was 12.76 miles. So now you have all the distances. If you haven't guessed down in the comments below, I got 44.03 miles total for the week. So again, highest mileage week so far in 2021. I am so happy to somewhat hesitantly say I think I'm back from injury again. I know I'm not out of the woods. I know I need to just keep doing the strength training, keep focusing on recovery so there's no flare up, but feeling really good that I just ran that 44-mile week, highest mileage week so far of the year, and my total mileage for the month, 148.47 miles for the month of May. So a super strong month for me. I am just so excited again to be putting in consistent mileage, feeling strong on the runs, and starting to just feel more and more ready every day. I hope you enjoyed the training update. As always, if you have any questions or anything like that, please let me know down in the comments below. We are less than 3 weeks away from the race. We are getting very close to taper. Everything is coming together. I know I really just need to focus some time on sitting down and focusing on the planning, making sure I have all my checklists, my gear, all of that kind of ancillary stuff that I'm gonna need to worry about. I just need to get that organized so that I am ready to go for race day. But feeling good about the running, feeling like I'm as prepared as I can be. And now it's just trust the training, get out there and crush some miles. So very excited. Thank you as always for joining me for the training update and for joining me on this journey. And I will see you next time. Cheers.